Welcome back, my yellow subscribers. This is part 2 where I'm going to explain the Cadencia Andalus so that you can continue learning but have some chords to learn with and appreciate the sound and feel encouraged to keep going, because this takes time and patience. Don't forget that. Don't get discouraged. Let's get right into it. I'm going to add the chords on one of these corners so that you can follow along. They're basically 3 chords, and eventually we're going to add on more to those so that you can play something different. But in the meantime, the 3 essential ones to the cadence are a very simple position for your left hand to learn, where you're going to do the same position and simply slide down to those 3. So you got the first one, the second one, and the third one, and then back up. So this essential position is going to help you learn 3 chords without having to complicate things with your left hand, so that you can learn and focus strength like we talked last time, and focus on the strumming and the rhythms that you need to learn with the right, because there's a lot to cover. So I'm going to play it, those 3 different chords in different styles, so that you can see the variety that you're going to get out of these 3. So that's just playing around. That was a bit of a buleria type count rhythm, not the traditional, but it goes along with that count. I basically started at E, went down to F, went back up to E, went down. So it's just playing with the sound so that you can get into it. It's more about practicing pressing, because this is important. If you're not pressing right, you're not going to get the sound clearly, and you're going to get frustrated. And if you can see my fingers, I already have dents from the strings, and I play pretty often. So you're gonna have to get used to that as well. The strings are gonna dig into your fingers, you're gonna get calluses, it's gonna hurt. But over time, you're gonna build on that, and you're gonna be able to play longer and longer, because at this point, I've been playing so long that even if it hurts, I can keep going, because it doesn't bother me as much as when I started. So let's get back to it. So we went through the simple thumb strum, and I'm gonna continue on this so you don't get confused. Don't forget to get support by hooking onto the bottom using the thumb. Don't forget the accent. The very first one is the accent to mark the time you're at. And there's 2 ways to do this, like I mentioned last time. One is to play them all together. Very lightly, you're sliding down. The other way is to actually go down each string. You heard the difference? You're emphasizing each string. So don't forget, the first one is the accent. The in-betweens are just fill-ins. 4 of those. And I'm still using the thumb, I'm just flicking. The accent, I went through from bass to treble. When I did the fill-ins, I did not go higher than the 4th or 5th string, so that you can hear the higher pitch. Let's do that again. Because you want the bass to ring, you hear that? You want that to continue in the background. So practice the same thumb strum that we've been going through. Practice at different speeds, different volumes, so you can learn to control your thumb. And remember, you're just using the thumb here, so it's all practice here. There's nothing complicated. It's just getting used to it. That's it. Cadencia Andalus for beginners. I do want to show you some variations though, because I know that if you're not as a beginner and you catch on to these pretty quick, you're going to want to expand a little bit more. So since this isn't too far in, I'm going to add a second strum for you to learn. And this one is going to sound much more Spanish. You're going to get that little spice in there, I guess, the flamenco spice. We're going to, just as you've been resting these fingers on the bottom string, now I want you to rest your thumb on the very top. This is the more common way for a lot of other positions where you can use now your index finger, or you can use all your fingers to do these movements, abanico style. Triplets, you can do the triplets, you can do the single, that's an accent, the triplets. Quads. Keep in mind that when you hook to the bottom, you're focusing on the thumb. When you hook with the thumb, you're focusing on all the other fingers. So if you practice the thumb strum, that should keep you busy. But we also don't want to neglect that these fingers are very useful. So now we switch and we rest with the thumb. If you noticed the difference, the thumb, we got a lot more bass. When we rested with the thumb and used the index, we got a lot of the trebles. So if you can see, I'll get a little closer. Thumb is resting. This finger, the index, is flicking. Like that. The flicking motion is what gives you the accent. Once you flick once, just as when we did the previous one, the thumb was using the bass and then continued on the treble. The flick is the strike, and then you flick upwards 4 times. Three times. You notice my other fingers are pretty free, so this is a very good beginning exercise because at first you're using your thumb alone. Now we're just using the index, and you can get a lot of sound. Don't forget that when you block the strings, you can actually practice the strums in a different way that's more audible without the sound and the distraction. With the thumb. This helps you so that your brain and your muscle memory gets accustomed to doing those patterns, making it easier to later focus on the positions with your left. You can take turns, take a break if this starts to hurt, practice this. You can just do a simple flick back up. You can do it back down and up, but you have to do it a little lighter. Don't forget that the accent is the only one that should be louder than the others. Which sounds like this. Or just a flick up. And now, to take it a step further for this second part, that way you have something to work on for this week, Let's combine them. So let's start, it's easier to start with the flick and then move to the thumb focus, because notice how natural it is to go like this and then get these fingers to rest on the bottom and then just use the thumb. But I'm going to introduce you to what we call golpe in flamenco. And this is a perfect chance to implement it after you do a complete set of the 3 chords, which is when you finish that cycle, you do the golpe. So let's try that out so you can hear it. That golpe sound, right when I got to the last one. Thumb and your other fingers, instead of resting, you're gonna hit at the same time. It's a sort of snapping action without the sound. At the same time that you hit the string, you're hitting the guitar. And you saw naturally, to open up your hand again, you're hitting the bottom. Once you're back up, these 2 motions are going to help you move between the thumb and the index and start getting that flexibility in the right hand so that you can start getting a little further. So I hope this second video helped you. I know I didn't get as technical as the previous one, but rewatch the video. Remember, we've got 2 strums to play with, the one focused on the thumb, the one focused on the index. You've got 2 resting positions, thumb rested, you're using the index. Other fingers rested, you're using the thumb. That simplifies it so that you can think about the action you're actually doing. Don't forget, stop the strings when your left hand is tired, because you're gonna get these string marks and calluses. It's gonna be painful. You wanna rest that a little bit. You wanna keep practicing. Let's use this one. Keep practicing. You're gonna get more flexibility on your right hand, stronger muscles on your left, and very soon you'll be running through these 3 chords like no one's business. Let me see. So I hope you like this video. Next time, part 3, we're going to add chords. We're gonna review a little bit what we've been doing, these last 2 ones, and then we're gonna introduce a couple more chords to that same Cadencia Andalus so that you have something more full. You're gonna get bored playing just 3 chords, but it's for practice. Remember that your goal is to gain strength and gain the automatic function with your right hand. You want that muscle memory there, and you want the strength, because there's a lot of chords, there's a lot of strumming patterns. Your hands need to be ready for that. So we're gonna keep working on that, and I'll see you next week.